from when they met in the New South Wales First Division Grand Final back at Wentworth Park. APIA and St George add another meeting between the two right here at Lambert Park tonight. Will Constantinides here with you in the commentary box tonight. Do not be fooled by the setting sun and long shadows around the ground. A very hot 34 degrees pitch side right here in Leichhardt. Very warm conditions await, no doubt, a big test for all 22 that'll be out there. We'll get straight to the team news, no further delay. Starting first with Franco Parisi's APIA Leichhardt. Fresh off their first home win and first clean sheet, Franco Parisi said today that was all about keeping momentum as last year's semi-finalists look to hit their stride as we start to transition out of the opening rounds and into the mid-season grind. A solid 2-0 win against the quality Sydney FC last week, where they switched to a back four. They keep the same formation again tonight, a 4-2-3-1 this week. They make one forced change. Cameron Fong is out due to an injury he picked up last week. Joel Bertolicio will replace him. As for the full starting 11 for APIA Leichhardt, it goes like this. Number 2 is Seiya Kambayashi. 4, Josh Simmons returns after starting his first game last week. Number 7 is Jack Stewart. 8, the new inclusion, Joel Bertolicio. 9 up front is Presley Ortiz. 15, Temba Mwatamalo. 17, who was, I thought, their man of the match last week, Jordan Segredo. Number 18, captain of the side, Adrian Uccino. 21, Michael Kuda. 22 is Eddie Caspers. And in goal, number 80, Ollie Kalatz. As for Fabian Michelli's St George FC, well, things have been looking up for them in the past couple of weeks. They notched up a draw in round 4 away as we observe a moment of silence here just before the game. We'll get back to that in a moment. So both teams are ready, and we'll get back to the St George team news. It's been a good couple of weeks for them. They got a draw in round 4 away to Marconi, and then a massive 3-0 win for their first win of the season against Sutherland at home at Barton Park last week. And speaking to Fabian Michelli before the game, he said it was a well-deserved 3 points, and he felt that he was happy to see his side right the wrongs of previous weeks, where in rounds 1 to 3 they took the lead but ended up losing all of their first 3 games. St George, they come into this one significantly impacted by injuries. A tough task for Michelli's men awaits. Thomas Brown was subbed off early last week. He's out of the squad after starting last week. As for the rest of the starting 11, it goes like this. In goal will be number 99, Mackenzie Suron. Number 3 is Troy Danaskos. 5, Nicholas Caligiero. 6, Pat O'Shea. 7, Aidan O'Shea. 8, Evan Suris. 10, Jaden Casella. 13 is Sunday Yona. 15, Bay Antonio. 16, Caden Wright. 27 is Jaden Cito. And that is the 11 for St George FC, who get us kicked off. Our referee out in the centre today is Hayden Langholz. He is assisted by Aaron Bloch and Blake Eastwood. And our 4th official over on the far side is Blake Sanchez Cruz. And so St George look to keep possession. They're a side that do like to keep the ball. They like to press as well, so keep an eye out for that as the game goes on. Here is Nicholas Caligiero. St George forced to go long, and Josh Simmons is back there. He has plenty of time and just allows Ollie Kalatz to take that one into his feet. And most of St George's injuries right now are at the back, and it's forced them to reshuffle a little bit. Pat O'Shea, who's usually a midfielder, he's playing at the back this week. Segredo, quick touches into Uccino, had a couple of players on his back. Kambayashi has dropped in. Ortiz, he's out wide. Looking to attack and plays Kambayashi centrally. Just had one defender to beat before he would have gone one-on-one, Kambayashi. And APIA, who had a quick start last week against Sydney FC with Michael Kuda's goal, coming close to having an early shot on target as Antonio nips in with Casella. Those two have been so good together for St. George. Antonio, the new inclusion, Casella, the mid-season signing from last year. Here is Temba Muatamalo. Assesses the options ahead of him and looks down the line. That might just make its way to Stewart. It's intercepted though. Here's Pat O'Shea. Caligeru goes over the top. Muatamalo read it well. Cries of handball off the shoulder, says our referee, as Antonio promptly wins it back, and Casella was just half a step away there. Acknowledging the good work there by young Sunday Yona. And they could break so quickly, St. George. They have so many tools up front that can hurt teams. They've had no problem scoring. And they've created plenty of chances. It's just been about really managing the games and seeing out the 90, which is what they did last week against Sutherland. Watamalo has space to move into. Kuda. Kambiashi. Simmons is forced back down the line by Casella, but APIA can keep attacking down this left flank with Michael Kuda. Floated ball. Intended target is Stewart. It'll bounce its way to him. Well defended though. They'll reset momentarily with Bertolicio. And Joel Bertolicio, he played so well last week after coming on towards the back end of the first half for Cameron Fong. Fong will be out for a few weeks, said Franco Parisi. And Bertolicio is certainly a more than capable replacement. He was instrumental in setting up the second goal that secured the 3 points for APIA against Sydney FC. Segretto's pressure will keep St. George boxed in momentarily. Casella. Simmons was strong on his back. St. George wanted a foul, nothing coming though. And Casella is really feeling the effects of that challenge from Josh Simmons. Only just now getting to his feet there, Jaden Casella. Seron, it's a great release pass to find Caligeru. Caden Wright. Antonio. Danaskos. Yona was making his move over the top and has the speed to try and run that ball away from Simmons, and St. George, again, you can see their intent is to burst forward so quickly, take advantage of the opposition, giving away possession early. So far up, we've been able to break them down. As Wright sends someone over towards Franco Parisi. Almost the entire pitch now covered in shadows thanks to those tall trees over to our right. Definitely makes a big difference when the sun is as hot as it is on a day like today. Cito. Seron had to just reach for that. Casella looks to have shaken off that knock, at least for the time being. Caden Wright. Cito. And now Pat O'Shea has a bit of room to drive into. Some controlled possession in the attacking half for St. George. Something they haven't had too much of in the opening 5 minutes. It's been real back and forth, fast start to things here in Sydney's inner west. As Danaskos plays the combinations with Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea tried to win his side a corner. Casella was on the back of Muatamalo. St. George still have the ball. And now they'll recycle possession. Antonio looking to instruct Sunday Yona. Now he plays him to feet. Yona just slips momentarily and This is a synthetic surface that received a heavy watering before the game. It cooled things down, which was nice, but it still might be a little slippery out there. Kalats. Here is Temba Mwatamalu. Josh Simmons has his head up. Looking for Ortiz. Pat O'Shea does well to intercept, and Caden Wright wanted to move it out to Danaskos. Suris was in the way though. Apia looking for some quick touches in midfield. They find it. Now here's Kambiyashi. Segredo. Just lost his touch. Kambiyashi is there to help out though, and Simmons intercepts any further progress for St. George. Here's Michael Kuda with the throw. He scored the first goal last week. It's his second goal of the season actually. He's popped up a couple times now. Kambiyashi. Floated ball in. Ortiz was almost there, and he was just waiting for it to drop to him, and it comes out to the top of the box for Bertolicio. Took a touch on its way through, and that'll be the first corner of the game, and it goes the way of the hosts, APIA Leichhardt. Again, the real difference with APIA since they moved to this 4-2-3-1 has been how much extra control they've gotten in midfield from the additional number. It's been Seiya Kambiyashi, who was previously playing as a wing-back in a back three. He's now playing as a number 10 almost. He's so technical, so skillful, and when he links up with Eddie Caspers and Adrian Uccino, it's a real joy to watch. Here he is with the corner. Deep delivery. Simmons is there, and a good save by Suron. It was a tight angle for Simmons, but he had to make a good save, get down quickly. And that's a big chance early for APIA Leichhardt. And Kambiyashi makes the slow march over to take the corner on the far side now. It was a good set piece on the first attempt from APIA. Let's see what they get here. A flat and deep delivery. Simmons looking for the knockdown centrally. It falls to Stewart. Couldn't quite connect. Top of the box, Segredo. Looking for the pass, and now St. George can try and counter here. It was just behind Sunday Yona, that pass from Aiden O'Shea. Kambiyashi elects to go inside into traffic and lost possession. Stewart beats the first defender. Waiting for some support, was looking for Kambiyashi, couldn't stretch out and keep the ball. And now Casella might be able to get him behind here, but it just didn't fall to him. Kuda. Stewart. Taken away from him. Good interception by Bertolicio. Now looking for a pass over the top, but that's easily swept up by Suron in goal for St. George. And so a pretty back and forth exchange so far. 10 minutes gone here at Lambert Park. It's flown by, but it's been APIA who have had most of the ball in the areas that you would want to have it. Segredo. Uccino. Kambiyashi. Looking for that ball to the byline, but calmly let run by Pat O'Shea. As mentioned last week, was APIA's first clean sheet of the season. They rid their luck a little bit in that game. I thought the young Sydney FC boys, they hit the woodwork twice. Probably unlucky not to score given the chances that they had, but APIA Leichhardt will feel like clean sheet can maybe be the start of a real momentum builder. Conceded 12 goals in their first 4 games, which was 9 more than they conceded in the first 4 games they played in 2024. So defensively, been a bit weaker coming into this season, but hopefully last week for them, they'll think will be the turn of a corner. And they play a St. George side who haven't struggled for goals. St. George have scored in every single game they've played this season. Scored 3 last week. Had the clean sheet to go with it themselves. Here's Caden Wright. Jaden Cito. Antonio has plenty of APIA shirts around him, and that pressure pays off for APIA. Casella was looking to flick it around the corner. Just a bit over the head of Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea popped up with a goal last week. A nice goal at that as well. Sunday Yona with some excellent technical work to beat 2 players and set him up. Cito plays it down the line. A bit of back and forth here in midfield as Caden Wright's the player that gets it to feet. Antonio looks to turn and Bertolicio will just let that roll down. Good headed clearance by Danaskos. It'll be to the benefit of Souris, but a mix up there between Uchino and his players there, and almost an uncharacteristic error from the veteran. Just looked to nod that on for Kalats, and in the end APIA are able to clean it up, but a bit scary at the back momentarily as Danaskos reads that pass and looks to continue his run. Now we have to get back as Stewart, and there's Antonio tracking back so well. Cito. Pat O'Shea. Cito again. Souris has dropped into midfield to receive. Or dropped out of midfield, I should say. St. George happy to try and just move APIA around. APIA are well set for the time being. Doing well to shut down these passing lanes into midfield. Now Wright has something to work with. Down the line he goes, and Yona dropping it short for Calogero. Goes all the way back to his keeper, and APIA will reset defensively again. Cito. Souris, and Aidan O'Shea, sorry. Had it taken off him by Bertolicio, and APIA can try and spring the counter. Advantage played by the referee. Stewart had his progress blocked, and a very interesting passage of play there with APIA seemingly happy to let St. George just have the ball in their own half. Force them back, force them around. Suron looks over the top, and Sunday Yona will have to try and chase this, but there is Simmons continuing his great work from last week as Camby actually wins the flick on, but APIA are unable to benefit from it. Casella with his back to goal looking to get around Simmons. Simmons went in strongly, and the foul is paid. And when you look at St. George FC and you look at how they're lining up, you see the tall and physically imposing Bay Antonio. You think he would be the one playing as a striker, and the more diminutive technical player that Jaden Casella is, he'd be playing as the number 10 or the attacking midfielder. It's actually the other way around. There is Casella playing it for Souris, who have to wait for some help though, and Here it comes in the form of Casella again. Has the skill to beat his man, fashioning the cross, and Aiden O'Shea was making that run at the near post, but Simmons was there. And the combinations that they do have between those players, St. George, can be so good at creating chances. It's just been really about finishing them off, and seeing out the games and managing when they do have the lead. Last week they were so good, they just took the lead early and went from strength to strength, and by half-time they were up 3-0, and when you're in a position like that, it's very easy to feel confident and see out the win. But Danaskos will have a shot. It's the first of the game technically for St. George, but it won't trouble Ollie Kallatz. It's been about the other games that St. George have played where they've led by only a goal, where teams have found ways back into the contest. Simmons, APIA can't play out on this occasion as right. Good pass to find Antonio. First time ball looking for Casella. Guatemala was always going to win that aerial battle with the height difference, but St. George still have the ball on the edge of the area. Casella muscles his way to win it back and has Kuda contending with him and wins this side a corner. So some industrious work there by Jaden Casella, who's not too bad in the air actually. He won a header last week against two Sutherland centre backs, a flick-on header which fell to Antonio, and that's how they set up one of their 3 goals en route to that 3-0 win. So he's got a decent leap off the ground, but Temple Guatemala probably one of the best centre backs in the air in this competition. Casella, in swinging left-footed delivery towards the near post. Danaskos threw himself at it. Comes back out to right. Casella has stayed on side. That took a deflection on its way through to Kallatz, but no danger for APIA. So St. George's last 5 minutes or so have really been all theirs. First 10 minutes or so I'd say were probably in favour of APIA, but still no major chances. 19 minutes gone here at Lambert Park. Very much a match between two teams that want to control the ball and aren't afraid to take it to the other, and no side really looking to sit back and absorb. I don't think that's the two styles of these teams. Yona. That'll be APIA ball. The judge to have taken a touch off Sunday Yona. Segredo. Uchino. Looking to take APIA forward. Kambiashi receives and looks to face goal. Well defended by Wright. Caden Wright, who comes to St. George FC this season. He spent a bit of time overseas in Germany. Back in Australia now. I'm sure he didn't miss the heat on game days like this when he was in the cold of Germany in winter. Sito didn't like what he had ahead of him, so he goes all the way back to Sir in goal. This is one of 3 games currently going on in the NPL. We've got Mount Druitt and St. George over at Poppendetta Park. That one's midway through the second half. The Mariners actually lead in that one, as Yona does well to create some trouble and is on his side of corner. So the Mariners lead away to Mount Druitt. Spirit and Sydney United has just kicked off. And Blacktown and Sydney Olympic are set to do battle in half an hour at Landon Stadium, where I've just been informed out in Sydney's west, it's currently 37 degrees out there. A little bit cooler here, but the shade definitely doing a lot of heavy lifting. Landon Stadium, not much shade about there. Casella. In comes the ball, and almost an own goal there from APIA. And it almost finds its way in. I think that was Guatemala whose header was back towards his own net. And Adrian Uchino on the goal line there, stepping in for what might have been disaster for APIA. Taking a look back on the stream now, the ball comes in from Casella from the corner. And then it was, Guatemala who maybe was expecting it to take a touch on his way through and didn't expect that one, but in the end, APIA do well there. Yona darting inside, immediately runs into a sandwich of APIA defenders, and Guatemala decided to go himself there. Yona, great pass to Casella. He stayed onside. Jaden Casella, great save by Kalats. Big chance, and the biggest chance of the game so far for either, falls the way of St. George. Antonio looks to convert, and he does. Make it 3 goals in 2 games for Bay Antonio. With the bow and arrow celebration, he's firing true right now, finding his goal scoring touch for his new side. As Jaden Casella had the first big chance, eventually fell back out to Bay Antonio, who didn't give up on the attack, and it snuck in at Kalatz's near post. And you can see how much it means for St. George, the real confidence about this team now. After a couple of weeks ago when they stole a late equalizer against Marconi, converted that into a home win against Sutherland last week, and now find themselves a goal up at Lambert Park. It's all about converting now. Plenty of time still to go in this game, and St. George, they've been in these sorts of positions where they've led early. They've been the first side to score. How will Fabian Michelli's men see out this game? How will Franco Parise's APIA respond? Another goal conceded, which is now 13 in 6 games for a side that only conceded 48 all of last season. Definitely way ahead of schedule on that regard. But St. George, as I said, really, the last 10 minutes, it's all been them. They've had the shots, they've had the possession, and now they have their goal. How about the form that Bay Antonio has found these past couple of weeks? He looked so good against Sutherland. He's been one of those players that you can always rely on in this competition. So many years at Rockdale. Was always a regular goal-scoring option alongside the big names they had, Alek Udashevsky in particular. But now that he's come to St. George, it took him a few weeks, but after the brace he scored last week and now adds a goal here today, you have a feeling he could be a real threat to carry St. George forward the rest of 2025. Again, St. George is the beneficiaries of simply not giving up. You thought when Jaden Casella was unable to convert the one-on-one that the chance might have gone, but Bay Antonio was not going to let the opportunity go. Basically created it himself and put it away so well. Aiden O'Shea into Antonio, and now Casella looks to get going. Tries to get the other side of Josh Simmons, but the APIA central defender sorts his feet out. Uchino, surrounded by white shirts, and St. George have numbers here. Casella looking for Sunday Yona. Comes back out to Antonio. Here is Casella on the half volley. Great save by Kalats. And Jaden Casella is looking very dangerous here at Lambert Park. And that would have been something special had he converted that chance. It just sat up for him on his left foot, and he was in that sort of position where the shot was definitely viable. tried to sneak it into that top right corner, catch Kalatz off guard, but a good save by the APIA keeper to deny him, who has been so busy these last 10 minutes. Compare that to the quiet afternoon that Suron has had down the other end. Aside from that one save he had to make off for Josh Simmons' header. In comes the corner, it's deep, and Kalajeru was unmarked there. I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication, but Nicholas Kalajeru was unmarked and simply let the ball go for the player behind him. Would have had a decent volley on goal from short range. And St. George right now have APIA on the ropes. Yona has Kuda on his back. Kuda gets a toe in. St. George themselves are yet to keep it. Well, they kept their first clean sheet, should I say, rather, last week. So we get to make it back-to-back weeks of clean sheets. This one would be very impressive away at Lambert Park, especially when you look at the injuries that St. George have right now. Thomas Brown out after last week. New signing Chan Yel Chan also on the sideline. Plenty more as well, especially at the back. You can see we spoke about it earlier. Pat O'Shea, who's had to drop into the back line today. So far, St. George deserve leaders right now, but how will APIA respond? Segredo looking for Ortiz, and that's well read by Pat O'Shea. Exactly where he needed to be there, a metre either side, and that ball was going straight to Presley Ortiz. And now Yona has the speed to break. Looks to take it around Simmons, has him beat for pace. Looking for Antonio near post, and the idea was certainly there from Sunday Yona, just not able to find Bay Antonio, who recognised the good intent of his young winger there. Stewart has had to drift into midfield to get involved here as Kuda overlaps down this left flank. Kuda, early cross in. Cito's touch sends it into the sky. It's a battle between Caspers and Wright. Yona nips in as well, but APIA able to retain possession now and maybe try and start a bit of regaining that dominance they had in the first 10 minutes, as Vertilicio has to stretch to keep it in. And the foul is forthcoming for APIA. Kalajeru looks to throw down the line up. You're really looking to get back into this game before half-time. 15 minutes to go. Of course, we haven't had a drinks break here this afternoon. The temperature has dipped thanks to the shade. As Stewart looks to turn, maybe get himself into a shooting position and shoots. Wasn't too far, but APIA start knocking on that door again. APIA have so many ways that they can score. They're a real test for defences. Presley Ortiz is usually quite clinical, doesn't need too many chances to put one away. Segredo and Stewart have plenty of goal scoring threat from the wings as well, and then you add Kambayashi's creativity behind them. St. George so far look up for the challenge. They're able to play out of that pressing corner from APIA. O'Shea, Kalajeru, Suris, and this is great stuff by St. George. Despite APIA's continuous pressing, they're doing well to find their way through, and they're not rushing when they do get forward either. Suris rather, so go back to Sauron. O'Shea. Casella. APIA forcing St. George back, but we'll see if St. George are able to play through here. They've looked unfazed in possession. Cito. Tedescos looks to get forward, and now APIA can get the ball back. Simmons. Kuda. Looks down the line, but that's far too deep, and a bit of frustration there from Michael Kuda. And it has been a frustrating afternoon so far for APIA. They find themselves a goal down. St. George have looked good with the ball. They've done fairly well to nullify APIA's chances. APIA have still had a couple though, but it was only from a tight angle and a Josh Simmons header that was their best chance so far. Segredo. Flag has stayed down. Now he turns his man. Segredo. Great pass. Was looking for Kambiyashi. You could see the angle he was trying to work. And now Casella checks it short, goes over the top. Can he beat Kalatz to this ball? As Kalatz with some great sweeper keeper work, but has to get back. Yona takes his man, shows him the wrong side. Sunday Yona. Always rising over the bar. And again, St. George, they're quick to attack when they do get the ball in a favourable position. We've seen them be patient in build-up, but when APIA turn possession over, they look to go so quickly. O'Shea. Again, more patient build-up coming from St. George. Now they look for the long option, but it's too close to Temba Muatamalo. Up goes Casella in the air. Temba Muatamalo again. Casella is able to find Cito as St. George look to go from right to left. Good pressing by Caspers. APIA unable to keep possession though. Here is Suris. Aiden O'Shea turns around Uchino. Antonio looking to turn provider. Sunday Yona on a tight angle though. Gets past his man, looking for the cross. It's left for Aiden O'Shea. Cleared by Josh Simmons. That might have been goal bound. Caspers with some nice footwork in midfield. Can he play his way through though, and does so eventually through Jordan Segredo. Ortiz. O'Shea is physical on his back, and now the numbers are on the right flank for APIA. Stewart. Bertolicio. Kambiyashi drifted offside. And a disappointing end to an attack there for APIA. St. George back underway. Antonio. Good interception by Segredo, doing his defensive duties that time. And despite the shadows and despite the fact that it has cooled down, it is still very, very hot pitch side. Kept in by Caligeru as Guatemala will have to take possession again. Kalatz. Simmons uses his centre-back partner, Guatemala. And APIA That one ends in a goal kick. So we'll see what changes both managers make, really, as St. George look to secure the 3 points. APIA are chasing them. Speaking to Franco Parisi before the game, he said that the switch to the back four was opposition dependent, and that they use it, that and the back three, depending on who they face and how they like to press against them, and gives them versatility that they didn't have the previous years when they were only really playing the 4-2-3-1. Yona, great touches to get past Kuda and beats him again, and now Casella. St. George won't be rushed though. Chino wins it back for APIA. And you can see Guatemala just wanting some help from his midfield there, as APIA have found it a bit more difficult than they did in the first 15 minutes to make meaningful possession with the ball. Kalatz. Guatemala. Segredo has gone way into deep midfield off this left side. Stewart. Donascos immediately on his touch. Looks to go towards Ortiz. Seron is there, uses his head, and that's all good sweeper keeper work by the St. George FC custodian. Caspers puts his man on the deck, turns it well. It's very fast out there in midfield right now. Both sides looking to gain the ascendancy, as that's good work by Suris, and now St. George can think about building an attack here. Antonio. Donascos tried the roulette turn and wasn't coming off there. Caspers again able to see off a defender. And now Stewart on the counter for APIA. Cambiashi trailing in support. Ortiz and Segredo on the edge of the area. It might just fall for Presley Ortiz here, as Cito was outstretched trying to get to it. And in the end, his keeper comes up and slides down to make the save. Simmons, more than capable in the air. Back they go to Seron. Cito. St. George looking to see out this half, just as they really continue these last 15-20 minutes, just keeping the ball, keeping it in possession and trying to move APIA around. Suris looks for Donascos, who moved in field. Yona wanted it on this side instead, as Stewart now can attack, as Donascos has vacated that left back spot. Stewart does well to get past right, and stepping in to intercept was Bay Antonio, who's been just about everywhere today for St. George. As we enter the last 5 minutes of regulation time here at Lambert Park. Segredo looking to take matters into his own hands. Seron could only parry though. It was a powerful shot, too hot to handle. And APIA will have a corner here, 41 minutes gone. They've had some decent set pieces here, APIA Leichhardt. Cambiashi's delivery has been on point so far today, which is unsurprising given his quality. Here he goes again. He's went flat and deep last time he was on that side. As he does so again, Guatemala has peeled off the back post, and he'll have to retrieve it to feet. It stayed in though for APIA. In comes the cross. It's towards the penalty spot for Simmons. Now he brings it. Josh Simmons with the volley. And there's the foul on Sunday Yona. His shirt was pulled. O'Shea has gone over the top on the other side of Bertolicio. Has to wait for Antonio to arrive. And Bertolicio has won it back, but has cost his side the corner in the process. We might just take this moment before we head into halftime to update you on scores around the grounds. Mount Druitt and Central Coast, they're locked at 1-1, 84 minutes gone. Meanwhile, Sydney United 58 have taken the lead at Christie Park against the league leaders, who are perfect to this point. 5 wins from 5 games for Spirit. And that record looks to be in serious jeopardy at the hands of United. Casella, near post. O'Shea was there, as was Aiden O'Shea. Pat O'Shea at the near post, Aiden O'Shea at the back post. In the end, the result is an APIA goal kick. APIA look to go quickly. Just a couple minutes of regulation time remaining. Kambiashi has Antonio on his back, and that stops the attack going forward just there for APIA. They'll have to build out towards the right. Here is Muatamalo. It's a good crowd down here at Lambert Park. There was a great crowd here when I was here last week when APIA played Sydney FC. Almost every seat towards my left was full, and about 30 odd Cove supporters away to my right were making plenty of noise. No doubt the heat might have kept some people away here this afternoon, but still a very strong grandstand showing. Not too much room away to my left as APIA fans look to get behind their team. There's a long season ahead for them in many of these clubs, and Michael Kuda is in some serious discomfort. APIA do not need another injury to add to the list. Drayden Kelly has only just come back. He's on the bench this afternoon. Cameron Fong, who's also a wing back, is set for an extended spell on the sidelines. And Michael Kuda is some serious discomfort holding that knee. Kuda, who has been such a key APIA player for so many years now. And this is not what Franco Parisi will want to see. So it looks like we're going to have 2 minutes of time added on. There might be a bit more, though, as we wait for Michael Kuda to receive treatment. This does not look good at all for APIA. He looks to be in some serious pain with that knee. Still on the deck here, Michael Kuda. He's feeling some way. back on his feet now, Michael Kuda. This is positive signs for sure, but hopefully not too serious for him and for APIA. This is not what they want to see. I do hope that he's okay. Looks like Sean Simmons will be replacing him, so this will be a bit of a reshuffle for APIA. So it looks like Sean Simmons will be going to left back. Josh Simmons playing left centre back. So two Simmons boys alongside each other, which I think is for the first time this season. Two players that have served APIA for so long. In key parts of silverware winning seasons. First touches here for the substitute. Eddie Caspers. Uchino looks long and looks over the top, but Tanaskos is there to make the headed clearance. It does eventually make its way to Jack Stewart though. Simmons. Josh Simmons that is. Now here is with Sean. Segredo, APIA, looking to get one back before the break. Wouldn't they love that, heading into the sheds at half-time. Stewart, decent ball in, but no one really attacking that area of the box as it rolls away for a throw. Casella. Sean Simmons stepping in to win it back. Goes back to Josh Simmons. Almost had it lost off his foot there, Josh Simmons, but APIA still has the ball. Bertolicio. Looks ahead of him. Here is Stewart now. Ortiz has space to work with. APIA trying to make a mad dash into the box to end the half. Presley Ortiz gets to the byline. It's a good ball that just needed someone there on the penalty spot. It's back with Segredo. Bertolicio. Sean Simmons lines up. Cannons off the back of a defender. And that'll be an APIA throw deep in the attacking half. Simmons faked the cross. Caspers. That one is blocked away by Caligeru. And that's it for the half, and it's a half where St. George find themselves a goal up at the break. Bay Antonio's third goal of the season has the visitors in a good position after 45 minutes. APIA were looking good early, but St. George found their way into the game as it went on and looked to hold more of the ball and look to get the better of the chances. Michael Kuda's knock will be a real concern just before the whistle blew. But other than that, APIA have some real work to do at home if they're to see out this St. George team. St. George, they'll look to hold this lead. And we'll take a quick break for you here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. I've been Will Constantinidis. We'll see you back soon. Welcome back to the second half here at Lambert Park, and a very intriguing second half awaits with St. George holding the 1-0 lead. Bay Antoniu's third goal of the season has the visitors in front, and it's a position that they are familiar with leading in games. It's all about seeing it out over the 90 for St. George. They're playing really well right now, it must be said. Some good stuff around the park as now the sun has fully set here in the inner west and the lights are on. Plenty of players enjoying, no doubt, the cooler temperatures in APIA with a bit of a pre-second half huddle as they look to swing the direction of this game. So it'll be APIA to get us back underway. We'll see if any changes are made. Just the one substitution in the first half, which was a forced change for APIA Leichhardt with Michael Kuda having to make his way off the pitch due to what looked like a knee injury. Sean Simmons replaced him at left back. Other than that, St. George look unchanged. APIA, just that one change as we get set for the second half. Both these teams have not struggled to create chances in this game. It really opened up as the back end of the half went on. It started very tense and very nervy first 10-15 minutes, but as the game went on and the two teams really figured out where the holes were, that's when the chances started to flow. Good cross in from Sean Simmons. Kambiashi was sliding in there as well, and APIA get a corner nice and early to start the half. So APIA had a couple of chances from set pieces. They had about 3 or 4 corners in the first half, each of which looked pretty dangerous. Now Kambiashi will deliver here. This time it's whipped in. Pat O'Shea is there to clear, and danger averted for the time being for St. George. And as we have entered the second half, I might just take this moment to run you through the benches of the two teams. Backup goalkeeper for APIA is Anthony Bazanis. They also have the returning Drayden Kelly, Maxim Kasalovic, Alex Denmead, who scored last week. He could be a good option to bring on as the game goes. And they also have Nick Azone. As for St. George FC, they have Mark Rodic, Thomas Dunn, Justin Poon. The backup goalkeeper is Daniel Axford. They have Javier Rodriguez and Harrison Farrow round out the outfield subs. As mentioned, it's a pretty undermanned St. George side right now, so all things considered, the fact they're leading away to APIA is very good. It's all about seeing it out here. They won't want to cough up possession like that. Caspers is through, and Caspers finishes. APIA's press pays off, and they get the equalizer, and it's good work. All from Eddie Caspers, who created the goal himself. And it's his first goal of the season for the young midfielder. St. George pay the price there. They've looked so good in possession in this game, and their first real mistake is ultimately punished by Eddie Caspers. Franco Parisi will be ecstatic with how his side have started the half. Just taking a look at the replay, they look so comfortable playing out there. The ball came to Caden Wright, who maybe didn't know that Eddie Caspers was right behind him waiting to pinch it off him. And from there, it took a deflection on its way through to the back of the net. But APIA, they have this game back on level terms. Now the game really hangs in the balance. APIA, the momentum certainly all their way now. At home, back on level terms. St. George looks to go quickly here. They closed out the half so well, they'll be extremely disappointed to have given up the lead like that, especially after looking so good with the ball. Suris just ran out of the sideline there. Ortiz. Advantage played. Simmons looking for that early release pass forward, and APIA now sensing momentum is with them and they can really try and push here to get this second goal quickly. St. George, how will they respond? Spoke about it in the first half there. Difficulties at times this season, keeping a lead. Casella. Now they look to go St. George. O'Shea. Cito. Danaskos, first time pass. It'll curl easily here for Bay Antonio. Has to get past Uchino and does. A good ball in, just needed someone there in the 6-yard box to tap it in. And in the end, APIA get out of trouble there, and they were in plenty of trouble with Bay Antonio getting to the byline. Here he is now, picking it up deep. Disguised pass for Casella. Tries to shot himself. Bounces kindly and into the arms of Ollie Kalatz. Seron gives the call and comfortable in the air with his head. Kaspers scored his first goal of the season. He started every single game in midfield for APIA this year. Oh, that's a big one there. Seron, he waved his finger, but the penalty was coming. He came out late on Segredo. And a pretty straightforward decision, you'd have to think, for Hayden Langholz. Seron was rushing out there and Segredo beat him to the ball, took it around him, and there was enough contact for sure. And now Jack Stewart has the opportunity to give APIA the lead for the first time in this game. Just the one goal for Stewart, who was back in round one. Scored 14 last year for APIA. One of their key contributors. Can he do it? From the penalty spot, sends the keeper the wrong way, and APIA are in front for the first time here tonight at Lambert Park. Cool, calm and collected from the spot. Jack Stewart. And credit the work of Jordan Segredo to win the penalty, and now there's a bit of a team chat here from St. George. Again, they've led in a game, and again, they find themselves trailing. It's just the quality that APIA have when you think they're down and out, when you think that they have been dominated as they were in the first half. They find ways back into it, and a cool penalty from Jack Stewart does it. Easy away to his left, and now APIA are in the driver's seat here. Ortiz does well to win it, and Kambiashi is through here. This could be 3 for APIA. Great save by Seron, needs to get back up. And APIA are really on the hunt here. Kambiashi did well as APIA go quick from the corner. Always rising from Sean Simmons, and APIA out of the halftime break. This has been a completely different side to the one we saw in the first half. Likewise for St. George. All of the poise and control they had in possession has evaded them in the second half. Stewart. Bertolicio further advanced now. Kambiashi, he's drifted offside though, but that is a superb move by APIA. Eddie Kaspers orchestrating things there. And St. George looking for answers right now. They definitely have a way into this game. They've shown that they can hurt APIA, shown that they can dictate proceedings here, but hasn't gone their way in this second half. Conceded early, giving away possession as they played out from the back, and then conceding a penalty soon after. Right. Here is Yona. Simmons is there to intercept. Advantage played. Referee recognising the handball, and Ortiz rides the initial challenge. Has Stewart with him. Does he go himself? He goes for Stewart instead. Looks to get his left foot around it. Still with APIA. Jordan Segredo. Another corner coming. And APIA looks so fluid at the moment. Whenever they attack, it's seemingly always ending in a shot. And a good opportunity at that as well. Jack Stewart there was looking to get his left foot onto it and place it in the bottom corner. Couldn't make the required connection, but they still got something out of it with the corner. Kambiashi to deliver. Numbers in the 6-yard box for APIA. It's towards the back post. Temba Guatemala! He adds the third for APIA. He's been at the back post all night, and now he gets his goal. His first of the season. He doesn't pop up with too many goals, Temba Guatemala, but he gets one tonight. A lot of good corners from Seiya Kambiashi tonight, and eventually they make one work. And APIA have scored 3 goals in 10 minutes, straight out of the halftime break. And Fabian Michelli has seen enough. He has to respond, and he's responded with a substitution. Aiden O'Shea comes off. Looks like that's Justin Poon that's replaced him. But taking a look at the replay, it was Temba Guatemala. He was at the back post. Seron got a touch to it, and Troy Danaskos lost him off the shoulder. And he finished from a tight angle. A big smile from Temba Guatemala with the goal. A man who is now in his 10th season at APIA Leichhardt, certainly approaching club legend status if he hasn't already. Has won so much with this club and adds another goal to the stat sheet for his time here at Lambert Park. Just 2 goals for Guatemala last year. Didn't score any in 2023, 2 in 2022, so definitely a collector's item when they come, as Bertolicio goes in very strong and late there, and he's going to pick up a card for his troubles, Joel Bertolicio. Cito looks to be clutching that ankle. We have had confirmation of that substitution. It is Justin Poon that replaced Aiden O'Shea. How this game has turned in the last 10-15 minutes. You'd think with the way the game was played in the first half, St. George were going to come out and continue to hold the ball, continue to create chances. It has been basically the exact opposite. APIA have looked scintillating in attack. Have had 3 chances and they've put away all 3. First they were gifted one with Eddie Caspers, then the penalty, well taken by Jack Stewart and Temba Guatemala. That outstretched right foot converting from a tight angle. Souris, Troy Danaskos. Cross is deflected and Ortiz is the beneficiary. Stewart gets the call. Segredo is there, a great first touch to bring it onto his chest. And that's great defending equally there by Caligero. Those two dueling it out on that far side. Suris. Chino went to ground there. I'm not sure if there might have been contact as Yona has to chase and is muscled off it by Bertolicio. Chino, the APIA captain, is protesting that he copped a stray arm or elbow there from Evan Suris, and he's still wearing the effects of it. Might have hit something in the ear, maybe. Kalatz launches it, and that's going to go straight over the sideline in front of the Joe Marston Pavilion. As mentioned, these sides have played so many historic games over the years. It was 60 years ago, back in 1965. They met in the New South Wales First Division Grand Final. Joe Marston was coaching APIA back in those days. Johnny Warren lining up for St George. 10,000 people at Wentworth Park saw APIA come out victors on that day. They also met in an NSL Grand Final in 1987. St George were 4-0 winners at Parramatta Stadium, the old Parramatta Stadium. Interestingly enough, that season, the Grand Final winner wasn't considered the champion. APIA were actually champions that season. They finished top of the ladder. And St George beat them on Grand Final day. Good ball in and outstretched. It was Evan Suris making a deep run from midfield, and St George, you have to think in need of a goal quickly to try and wrestle back a bit of dominance in this game. They need the momentum to swing back in their favour. Right now it is firmly with APIA. Stewart goes up, but comes down with Antonio. Cambiashi loses out and wins it back. Flicks it down the line, and APIA do keep the ball. A late challenge from Antonio, and now there's a bit of push and shove potentially. The coming together between Segredo and Antonio, but there was nothing really in that. Bertolicio gets the other side of Yona, goes to ground, and the foul is forthcoming again for APIA. And Yona protests his innocence. Just maybe a little bit late there. And APIA have the chance to add a fourth from a good position too. This is a good area. A nice angle for a cross. Something really spectacular. You can think about the shot. You can try and swerve it into the back post. It's going to be the right foot of Cambiashi maybe, or maybe Sean Simmons. Those two just talking it over. Cambiashi's going to leave it for the lefty Sean Simmons. Might be thinking about a shot here. And he does. And it's over everyone. Serron looked like he had it covered in any case. Here is Danaskos. Looks like a sub is on its way. The second of the game for APIA. A couple players also warming up for St George. So fresh legs will enter the fray as we enter the final half an hour of this game. Suris. Cito. Now right. Antonio. Ball bounced up and that invited the Caspers, but St George still have it. Danaskos. Down the line for Souris. Poon. And Bertolicio has been quite strong at right back. And Poon doesn't give up, and we'll have to keep APIA in the corner now. Damascus wins. We need to slice that into the box. It does bounce, which causes a bit of problems. Damascus nods it on. Now Stewart can put it back on the deck, and now he goes quick. Given away though, Yona went through his legs. Simmons, quick to keep play going for APIA. Cambiash, the intended target of Segredo's ball forward. Now St. George, they're getting back to where they were in the first half, which is having more of the ball, but in a very different position, 2 goals down. A bit more urgency as they play. That goes over everyone. All ends in a goal kick, and now a substitution comes. So it looks like Nick Azone will enter for APIA. He's going to replace Adrian Uccino in midfield. So Adrian Uccino, the captain, the veteran, he gets an early rest, a deserved rest. He's worked hard in midfield. He'll be replaced by Nick Azone. The St. George substitutes lining up. And now that substitution goes through. So Caden Wright, in his start, gets an early rest. Sunday Yona also comes off. I think Sunday Yona has worked quite hard this afternoon with little reward. He's looked so dangerous. And he is replaced by Harrison Farrow. Thomas Dunn, also the other man on for St. George. So 2 substitutions used for St. George, and 3 for St. George and 3 for APIA. Stewart. Caspers had to check his run and did well to stay onside. Lost it momentarily, but it's still with APIA. Cambiashi. Segredo gets out of the way. He knew he was offside. In comes the cross. Presley Ortiz was there. Here's Jack Stewart. And sliced that one over the bar. Good play out from St. George. They're still being pressed by APIA. It's been relentless from the hosts. And now they pinch it back. Sean Simmons, plenty of numbers on the right side here for APIA. Stewart. Pass was intercepted as he raced away down this wing. Poon looks to turn and go. Gets around Caspers and ran into Casella there, but still at the feet of St. George. Cito. Damascus. Casella. Good touch by Stewart. Bertolicio keeps his run moving. And pass was just straight at the feet of Calogero. Caspers. APIA looking to just try and take the sting out of any momentum. St. George looking for just a chance, a spark from somewhere. A goal would really potentially ignite this comeback. Still 20 minutes left. Antonio has stayed on side here and has got the other side of the APIA defence. Bay Antonio turns and lines up. Took a deflection. St. George corner. But again, they are looking for ways into this game, St. George. They're not far away at all. And as we wait for them to take the corner, we'll update you on the scores from around the ground. So Mount Druitt and Central Coast Mariners at Popondetta Park has ended 1-1. Sydney United still have a 1-0 lead against the Spirit with 15 minutes to go. Sydney Olympic have an early lead at Landon Stadium against Blacktown with 26 minutes gone. And St. George City and Manly, which kicked off 15 minutes ago, is still at 0-0. Casella, good ball in. Danaskos went up for it, couldn't get his head around it. And now the ball comes back into the mix. Top of the box for Poon. Seen away by APIA. Cito. Casella. St. George looking to go quickly down this wing as here is Bertolicio again. He's having a very tidy game at the back, continuing the excellent game he played last week when he came on in the first half for Cameron Fong. It just goes to show the depth that APIA have. A lot of these teams that are playing in the Australian Championship have depth that other clubs certainly would envy. When you have a long season ahead, the prospect of playing deep into November, potentially only having a really short break before the NPL season starts again next year. These are all long-term considerations that managers like Franco Parisi must have. And when I spoke to him last week about how he manages the side in these early stages with the prospect of such a long season ahead, he said that it's very much the case that players that they would have risked in previous years, they give them an extra week off or they give them extra rest. If anyone's at less than 100%, they're extra cautious with how they go about getting them back onto the pitch. Even for St. George, they have injury problems of their own right now. And that perhaps might explain why they started the game so well with those fresh legs, and then as it went on, have somewhat faded away, especially in the second half where APIA have dominated. Last 10 minutes or so, things have really evened out compared to the onslaught that APIA had going for them in the first 15 minutes. 3 goals in the first 10 to fire them into a 3-1 lead. Zone. Stewart. Cambiashi has to check his run, make sure he doesn't drift offside here. As Stewart looks to play in. Segredo. And now they go back to their keeper. Seron goes long. Guatemala went in strong off the line. And Casella might have copped a knock on the way through, and the referee will stop play as it is a potential head knock. Chance for these two teams to reset with 15 minutes to go. A crucial juncture in this game. A goal for St. George in the next 5-10 minutes would really get them up and about. We're trying to get back a point from this game, and a game that they led and looked so good in the first half. As for APIA, it's all about seeing out the 3 points, securing their first consecutive win of the season. They haven't gone, only 2 wins on the year. This would be their 3rd and their first time making it back-to-back wins. Next week, APIA at home again. They play the Wanderers. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. That looks to be a very good game. The Wanderers are really causing some teams some problems at the minute. St. George, they host Wollongong at a Friday night game at Barton Park. That's 2 teams looking for a bit of consistency. The Wolves as well. Here is Stewart. Zone. Slides it to Caspers. Stewart. Looks to play link up with Segredo. Those 2 exchange passes. Stewart now. Deflected shot. It'll bounce awkwardly, but it is cleared. Caspers. Segredo. Taken back out to Simmons, and the pressure was coming. APIA still have it though. Azone turns and looks up, and pass was intended for Caspers, but it's intercepted by St. George, who looked to go quick on the counter, but Muatamalo clean to win it back. Here is Ortiz drifting wide out of his central position. Stewart, the man ahead of him, decides to take Danaskos one-on-one. Ortiz beats him and goes inside towards that left foot. It was curling, but it was curling centrally towards Suron. Danaskos has inverted into midfield here. He was playing left back, and now he joins the attack. St. George know they need a goal, and they need it quick. A good opportunity for Farrow. He gets to the byline, cries of handball, and the penalty comes. Muatamalo pleads his innocence, saying that he kept his arm close to his chest. And Harrison Farrow got away from the APIA defence. Looked for the cutback, and Muatamalo, who went to ground to try and block the cross, it clipped his arm, and despite his protests, the penalty will stand. Hayden Langholds judging that his arm was outstretched. I do somewhat sympathise with Muatamalo. When you are sliding, it is hard to keep your arms out of the way, but it is a penalty nonetheless, and a chance for St. George. Danaskos standing over it. They need this for the comeback. It was saved initially, but Danaskos gets it in. Kalatz gets the right way, but it was too powerful, and Troy Danaskos gets his 2nd goal of the season. And that's a massive goal for St. George. There is still more than enough time to get 1, maybe even 2 goals. Danaskos converted from the spot. And now St. George, this was the goal they needed to get momentum back. We spoke about finding their way into this game. They've shown plenty of quality in this one, but didn't start well in the second half. But if they can finish well here, add another goal, maybe another, it'll be a very topsy-turvy game at that. These sides aren't strangers to high-scoring affairs. When they met back in round 22 last year of 2024, it was a 5-0 win for APIA at Lambert Park. Round 7, the London Sports Centre was a 2-2 draw. St. George looking for a 3-3 draw, a 4-3 win. APIA looking for maybe another goal to put this one beyond doubt. Poon. You can see St. George, an extra bit of speed, an extra bit of urgency as they move the ball. Danaskos. Low-driven cross, can't beat the first defender. And now APIA, you think, could be in danger here of just sitting back and absorbing pressure as they try and defend this this 1 goal lead at 3-2. Antonio. Foul on Caspers, and Antonio was just complaining that his teammates didn't give him much ahead of him. St. George looking to catch the APIA defense off guard by playing quickly. Suris. Good pass on, or just behind from Farrow there, intended for Poon, and now Franco Parisi's turn to respond with a substitution. So it's going to be Drayden Kelly coming on. He's going to replace Temba Muatamalo, the man whose goal is the difference right now. Scored the 3rd goal for APIA. And Presley Ortiz will be replaced by Alex Denmead, and Denmead popped up with a goal last week when he was subbed on. It's actually a triple sub for APIA. Seo Kambiashi also coming off. The other man on will be Maxim Kasalovic. So the bench is cleared for APIA. All 5 substitutions have been used. Will Denmead pop up with a goal like he did last week? He scored APIA's 2nd goal to make it a 2-0 win. A goal that they definitely needed to get out of trouble with Sydney FC. There could be real danger that a 1-goal lead for APIA right now might not be enough. St. George continue to press for the equalizer. Bertolicio won't be in a hurry himself. Stewart. Azone with those fresh legs, making a quick run in behind, paying the favour back to Jack Stewart, looking to get his defender on the other side. It's still with Azone. Farrow has Drayden Kelly over his back. It's all fair so far. Now the foul comes after Kelly trips up Harrison Farrow, and Kelly is probably a bit lucky there that he didn't cop a card, I think. Troy Danaskos a bit eager to get forward. Referee said it was all good, actually. It was Caspers that was in his way, and now this game has really entered into another gear. This would be some show of resilience from St. George. Despite the fact that they were leading, to be 3-1 down away from home, with all the wind knocked out of your sails after conceding 3 in the first 10, they won't be happy about that. But if they can jag something in these late stages, I'll certainly take it back to Barton Park next week against Wollongong. Antonio. Suris. Pat O'Shea. Cito. O'Shea steps forward now, 11 behind the ball for APIA. Here is Harrison Farrow. Lost out to Sean Simmons. APIA can think about a counter here. It's really only Denmead, but Stewart is joining from the other side as Segredo breaks away. And they look for that switch. And it's into the arms of Suron. Now St. George trying to catch the APIA defence out as they got forward from the counter. Kelly is calm at the back. Stewart gets the call to turn. His touch will bring him back, though. Denmead. Kasalovic. The 2 fresh midfielders for APIA. Kasalovic and Azone. Azone. Stewart. Ran into Bay Antonio. Danaskos. Going in strong, and in the end, APIA come away with it. Kasalovic. Heads up switch out to Segredo. Simmons will join the attack on the overlap. APIA looking for that important 4th goal. Well defended by Calageru. Casella has dropped into midfield now after spending the entire first half as a striker. Harrison Farrow now up top as a result of those substitutions. That one is late from Josh Simmons on Harrison Farrow. Just the one outfield player left on the bench for St. George FC. It's Mark Rodich. He's only recently just come back from injury, I believe, so I'm not sure how fresh he is, especially considering St. George's injury worries. And Fabian Michelli is pleading with Fabian Sanchez-Cruz on the other side, feeling that should have been a card for Josh Simmons. And we enter the final 5 minutes of regulation time here at Lambert Park. We should have plenty of stoppage time. We've had 4 goals in this half. Plenty of substitutions, a couple of injury stoppages as well. So there is still a decent amount of time left for St. George in this game. O'Shea. Danaskos has joined midfield in these latter stages to add an extra number as St. George look for that all-important equalizer. Poon. Cross. That'll be a goal kick. It nudged his shoulder on the way through. Kalatz goes for the sideline on the clearance, and it will chew down more time, but it gives St. George the ball. Zone says anywhere will do. St. George, another wave of attack coming as APIA look to dig their heels in here in the second half. Danaskos. Good touch inside for Poon. Looking up with Thomas Dunn, but again, St. George look like they're camped out in the attacking half, but can't find a way through. And that's great touches by Caspers. Has Stewart racing away to his right. Denmead also in the box as Caspers joins. Jack Stewart looking to add the icing on the cake for APIA. Here is Caspers. Still has it at his feet though. And just ran out of gas in the end, I think, there, Caspers. Did so well. Created a good opportunity for himself at that. Suron. Time ticking away for St. George. It's not their friend right now. Suris goes long, and that's definitely what APIA would have wanted. They can let the ball go out, take some more valuable seconds off the clock. Bertolicio is actually on the ground here. APIA have no more outfield players available. The only man still on the bench here is the backup goalkeeper, Anthony Bazanis. Now, whether this is legitimate cramp or injury, or perhaps some use of the dark arts here from Joel Bertolicio, it means that both teams will head over to their benches, get some water, and more importantly, get some final instructions from their two coaches. So one final check of the scores around the grounds. It's 1-1 between the Spirit and Sydney United 58. That goal has just come through. United were down to 10 men after Patrick Antelmi's red card 73 minutes in, and Spirit have scored in the 94th minute. Meanwhile, Sydney Olympic have a 1-0 lead against Blacktown at half-time. St. George City up 1-0 against Manly, 34 minutes gone. Bertolicio. Segredo, will he head for the corner? St. George win the goal kick. Let's see how much time is added on. It looks like there's going to be 5 minutes. That's the number that's been put up by Blake Sanchez-Cruz. So another 5 minutes for St. George to look for something. 5 minutes for APIA to hold out as Poon gets the other side of his man. Play continues. Antonio bursting through the defence. Farrow. Good challenge by Josh Simmons. Had to be clean and had to be on time. The result is a corner for St. George. Not quite send everybody up just yet. But Jaden Cito is the only outfield player back here for the visitors. Casella to deliver. Can he deliver on their third goal, St. George. It's deep to the back post. Danaskos was leaning back and he was off balance with that header. Couldn't put it on target. And that's 1 minute gone here at Lambert Park. 4 remaining. It's a very tense ending. It's been a great game when you consider the hot conditions that we've played in. Both these teams have really given it everything. It's been free-flowing, plenty of chances. A fast game in the second half as well. No whistle for APIA there. Even though they wanted it, as that time Casella commits the foul on Josh Simmons. More time ticks away in favour of APIA. Oh, that is an errant pass there from Josh Simmons. Straight at the feet of Antonio. Antonio's touch was heavy. Poon has stayed with the attack as Danaskos sends it over the top. Antonio is on the back there of Azone. Kalatz goes for distance on the clearance, but it's only onto the chest of Souris. Touch forward, it's chaos in the air right now. Denmead and Caspers. Passes under hit for Stewart, and St. George can have another chance here. It's getting towards last chance saloon here for the visitors. They'll throw numbers forward in search of this equalizer. Souris. O'Shea, he joins the attack. Good pass forward. Danaskos is edge of the area. Oh, and it's gone in! St. George have come back, and Troy Danaskos, the captain, has equalised. It has been one of the most entertaining games of the NPL this early part of the season. And it's delivered a late equaliser from Troy Danaskos. He won't care that it took a deflection on its way through. St. George are back in this game. His second goal of the game, third of the season for Danaskos. He took the penalty that brought them back to 3-2. And it fell to him on the edge of the box. He let it go, and it just looped over Ollie Kalatz with that deflection. And there was a bit of afters there as well on the goal between Danaskos and Stewart. This has been a really hotly contested game, and now St. George have thoughts of more here. Antonio on for Poon. There is still time here for St. George. Poon gets the other side of his man and puts the shot on. He was searching for that top corner, but it was always drifting wide. And the last man is on here for St. George. Bay Antonio takes his leave and Mark Rodich is on. Bay Antonio, who has played so well. He was so electric in the first half. He worked really hard in the second. Four minutes 30 gone. We probably will have a little bit of time added on still because of that goal. Perhaps about a minute or a minute and a half at most, you'd think, for either of these two sides to claim it as their own. It's been a fantastic game for your Saturday night, and we're not done yet. APIA on the attack now. Stewart whips in a good ball, and sliding down to defuse it was Jaden Cito. APIA's turn to throw numbers into the box. Stewart delivers low and flat onto the penalty spot. It's Kelly, and he made good connection with it. That was a great chance for the winner. But it's into the arms of Suron, who sends it high into the night sky. Suris waits for numbers to join the attack. We've passed 5.5 minutes here at Lambert. This might just be the last chance of the game for either of these two teams. Oh, Denmead, he gambled and he almost won the lottery there. It went under his legs though. O'Shea. Suris. Now St. George, they know that they'll get one last go at it. They want to make it count. The ball goes over the top. It's fallen kindly here for Danaskos. A good ball forward for Farrow, who's gotten the other side of the defence. He goes to ground. Shouts of a penalty, but they'll have to settle for the corner instead. Suron is staying in his own half for now, the St. George goalkeeper. And Josh Simmons himself is also complaining about the contact. Both teams have thrown everything at this game. This is not just any old game in March. Despite the fact it is a 30-game season, when you're playing for finals, every point counts. Casella. Can they find something here, St. George? This would be amazing. Nothing on the corner though, and Caspers clears. Cito puts it back into the mix, but it's only as far as Jack Stewart. And that'll be it. They'll have to share the points, but we were treated to a great game here at Lambert Park. A topsy-turvy one at that. They'll have to share it. 3 goals apiece. St. George came out with the early lead. They were 1-0 up at half-time, and a round of applause from the crowd is duly deserved for both teams. APIA looked hot out of the half-time break. 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Eddie Caspers, Jack Stewart and Temba Mwatamala getting on the score sheet for them. That took them 3-1 up after Bay Antonio got the opener for St. George. And then from there, it was all the theatrics and dramatics in the second half. Troy Danaskos getting the second goal for St. George from the spot before he would equalise in the 90th minute. Sorry, the 85th minute for St. George. A deflected shot from the outside of the box, which looped over Ollie Kalatz. A great game all round, it must be said. They'll have to share the points, though, as they go into round 7 next week. I've been Will Constantinides with you for the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. More games coming for you tomorrow, more games on tonight. Hope to see you back soon here. And that's goodbye for now from Lambert Park.